Okay, we are back at it. It is Red Sox Now on this Monday with me, Mike Antonellis. Wearing my three-quarter zip Woo Sox polo because the Woo Sox are back. They had a tough trip against Buffalo. I'll be with them this week. They're back home against Rochester and give you all the updates. We see a lot of Woo Sox going up, including the guy that knocked in the only run yesterday for the Red Sox, Nick Sogard, as the Red Sox drop 2 of 3 in Atlanta. Before we go any further, make sure you hit the subscribe button, leave your comments, please like, and please give a round of applause for Kalshi, our sponsor. The bigger and better things we do, this is what happens. We end up with sponsors. I know it bothers some people. It's the sponsor. There's sponsors on every element of TV or an entertainment. It is what it is. We love Kalshi. Use the code FanArchBaseball. You get $10 when you trade 10. So Friday, what were my expectations? Go back and watch the show. I was hoping they got at least one game there. You can't always make everything about the Red Sox. We tend to do that. That's what we are. We're fans. But you're playing the best team in baseball. You had a hell of a game for Saturday. You know, Atlanta struggled to score runs against you until yesterday. Yeah, was Friday's games disappointed? Yeah, I guess, but I'm not shocked, right? Even if you were a well-oiled machine offensively, that's a pretty damn good team you're facing. Strider's really good. Some of the bullpen ERAs that night. Lee, under 1.84. Suarez, 0.47. Iglesias has not given up a run, and then Fuentes won it, got the win in extra innings. That was a game, yeah. You had chances, 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. But I'm not very disappointed with the first two games offensively because you faced Saturday, you faced the league leader in ERA. I'm not trying to make excuses. It's just facts. If you were a neutral fan, you would say the Red Sox have no chance to touch Bryce Elder. Bryce Elder is, let's see, 7th in the big leagues in ERA. He was 4th going to the game Saturday, and you scored 3 runs against them. So I look at everything differently, right, to each situation. So for me, on Saturday, scoring 3 runs against that guy who had given up 2 earned runs, I think he had given up 2 runs twice and a bunch of zeros and 3 runs just twice all year. And you put together, I thought, that was a good offensive game. I know you only scored 3 runs, but you have to look at who you faced. And Tulley was absolutely fantastic. We'll get into that in a moment. So for me, you know, yeah, Friday you had opportunities, but they didn't have. I mean, they didn't really have many at all. I mean, Early did a good job. Your bullpen did a good job. But yesterday was disappointing. I mean, absolutely disappointing. Should we second guess Bayo not having an opener? Possibly. But boy, if this guy can't start games anymore and he needs an opener, I mean, that's not saying much for him. Really isn't. Not sure why he's throwing cutters. Lou Merloni talked about this over and over. He's a frustrating guy. I saw some people comparing him to Buchholz. Not even in the same league. Buchholz's stuff was light years better than Bayo. Buchholz threw a no-hitter, but he had a plus fastball, a plus curveball, a plus changeup. Bayo doesn't have that kind of stuff. But I think it's time to just move on from him. I'm on it. I mean, I seriously, it might be dramatic, but what's the purpose? You know, and I do see maybe they should have used an opener, but you know what? They're trying not to use their bullpen so much. If you use Moran again, then he's down. And would anything have been different? I don't know. But it doesn't say a lot if it was. If this guy can't pitch in the first inning and we need an opener for him all year, like, okay, The last two times they used an opener, he was good. I didn't think in Detroit he was as good as people. He had a big lead. The exit velocity off him was really. He gave up some hard hit contact, but he had such a big lead. But he was better in his last. And the bottom line is, in those two outings with an opener, he was better. But I don't know. I get. I don't know if the result would have been any different. Maybe it would have, but he's throwing a cutter that Lou Merloni talks about that I think teams are slugging 800 against. But a disappointment, I think, when it's pretty obvious when Crochet comes out and off the injured list. I mean, he's the guy that's bumped. I don't know what you do with him. Again, like I said, I don't know if he's going to be a good reliever. Maybe he takes the Watson role. And then you're going to reside him to what? A mop-up guy? I don't know. I think he should be moved. I think another team would actually take Bayo because another team is looking at heavy sinker, heavy changeup. He's really good there. Not sure why you can't just tell the guy, stop throwing your cutter. I mean, this starts with Andrew Bailey and Chad Tracy and Craig Breslow. Stop throwing it. I mean, players don't run the show last time I checked. I mean, but I just thought that was disappointing. You come out, listen, you guys can and gals can give me all you want about the offense yesterday. 5-0 after 2 innings, you have no chance. I mean, you have no chance. That's the big leagues. You can go look at numbers. It doesn't matter what team, most times or not. If you're down 5-0 through 2 innings, the odds of winning those games are in the or less than the teens, in the single digits and percentages. You can't get down 5-0, and it was just brutal to watch. You had 9 hits. You didn't have that many opportunities, and the ones you did, you didn't take advantage of it. But 5-0. So that was disappointed. It ended on a disappointing note, but I'm not surprised. And if you go watch the show Friday, I was just hoping you weren't going to get swept. It's a little bit of arrogance to think you're going to go in there and sweep or take 2 of 3 when you're not as good as them. That's being more of a homer. Yeah, they had opportunities. I get it, but they're still better than you. That's the bottom line. They're first in everything. ERA, almost every offensive category. They're either 1 or 3rd. They're near the top of the league in defense, and they're doing this without Acuna. So first 2 games were fine, and then just, yesterday I thought was disappointing. But what a duo, and what a battery. I love Gasper. I think Mickey should play every day. I know he was 0 for 4 yesterday. I like the at-bats. He was the one that jump-started a rally for you on Saturday that gave you that first run. He just looks like a good hitter. He makes contact. Yesterday, I know, was a tough day. But I love the plan. He now totally shook off Gasper once. It was that Azokar double on a curveball. And in our Discord, I left a message that I didn't like that pitch there. And neither did Gasper. And that was the only time that Tulley shook him off. But, I mean, what an outing. And that is the first time a starter has gone 8 innings in Atlanta since 2024. And he was fantastic. And just the way that game ended with the Chapman having the ball hit off his foot. But Tulley pitched to contact. And this is going to be interesting because there is chemistry with catchers and pitchers. Now, Gasper and Tulley have a thing. And if you just have a guy go 8 innings against that lineup, it's going to be hard for Gasper not to play. Are you going to keep 3 catchers? I know Narvaez is a little banged up. Does he go on the injured list on Monday? I don't know. Does something else happen where you keep 3 catchers? If Anthony's ready to come off the injured list, does that mean Durbin goes down? I don't know. We'll see. But I think Gasper should stay. Was having a conversation with someone who covers the Red Sox yesterday, and we were talking about the offense, and we both agreed, like, it's not all the pieces. Like, I think sometimes we fabricated a little bit, like it's not the entire offense. Abreu's having an all-star year. Rafaela's been good. I think Contreras, the game-winning home run. Now you're getting some stuff from Gasper. Myers, yeah, certainly up and down, but you think about it. Durbin hitting 165. Duran had 2 hits yesterday. It was good to see him swing the bat. But when you have a guy hitting 2 of your starters, 183, 165, almost 50 games in, if those guys were hitting just in the 220s, think about that. If you had 100 points higher in batting average from 2 guys that only put them 220s each, you probably would have a couple more wins here, right? I would think if Duran was hitting 230 even and Durbin was hitting 225, you might have 3 or 4 more wins. And you might be a 500 team. I don't know. Who knows, right? We don't know. But just waiting. We're waiting. We're waiting and waiting and waiting. We're not waiting for Kalshi. We're never waiting for them. Baseball season's here. You could trade every game on Kalshi. Every game. Okay, I'm making my trade right now. You can do props if you'd like. The Red Sox to beat Kansas City, and Dave O'Brien said it's going to be a tornado there. It's 50-50. That's what it's trading at. Boston is trading at 50% to beat the Royals. $100 pays out $189.57, a profit of $89.57. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position for a limited time. Download the Kalshi app and use code FanArchBaseball to get $10 when you trade. Kalshi, trade on anything. I think there's no doubt in my mind, and there should be no doubt in yours, and I talked about this all offseason, there should not be anyone else that plays center field but Ceddanne Rafaela. By my count, I think he saved at least 5 extra base hits this weekend, if not more. He put on an absolute show defensively. I don't care about... I know he can play short, and you're going to tell me Durant can play. I don't know. I don't want that. I don't want when Anthony comes back. There was a catch probability of 5%. You're struggling to score runs. You cannot put anyone else out there. He is the best center fielder in baseball, and it's not close. And a lot of the Braves guys apparently were talking about this as well. But he put an absolute show this weekend in Atlanta, and it was so fun to watch. But all of those discussions about moving him back to the infield is nonsense to me. Absolute nonsense. And if you do it, you'll pay. And I don't care what any of the metrics say about Duran in center. It's still no contest to me. I think Duran's a better center fielder than a left fielder, but Rafaela is just in a different stratosphere. It was unbelievable. And he's making catches now look like easy little pop-ups, making them look way too easy, but he was outstanding. All right, L Prof 007 agreed. Time to shake things up over a quarter season, not a small sample size. Yeah, they did that with bringing up, Gasper, I think was a shakeup. Sogard, let's see if they do more. I agree with you. Time to play the best hitters. Yes. Conrad Capel 9426 with the coaches. Please instruct these hitters when to and when to not challenge pitches. Leave the challenges to times when they have meaning. You are telling me it is just really, really, yeah, I agree with you. In every letter and word in that sentence, what is going on? And I don't know. This is where I put more on the players because Chad Tracy ran a tight ship in Worcester. We've had the same since this started. Chad put in a system. Our guys were perfect at it. They really were. I'm not exaggerating. You can ask the other broadcasters I work with. You can tweet at them. We talk about this all the time at the ballpark at Polar Park. I don't know what's going on. Guys are using them in the wrong spot. I know they're being told not to. They're still doing it. You're right. It is a weird thing, the challenges with them. Okay, the Red Sox 19-27, 8 games under. I was hoping for a 3-3 road trip. You can still do that. You're playing Kansas City. They have one more win than you. Sonny Gray 4-1, 3.18 ERA against Seth Lugo, pretty good. 1-3, but a 3.76 ERA and a lot of strikeouts. Let's see, Abreu, Contreras, and Yoshida have all homered in their career off of Lugo. Pitching matchup on Tuesday. It's a 7:40 game. It's Ranger Suarez against Chris Bubik. He's pretty good too. It's going to be, and the way your offense is, I mean, sometimes it doesn't matter what the stats are. Wednesday night, it is Connolly Early, Michael Wacha. He's having a good year, 4-2, 2.83 ERA. The Red Sox have some good arms. Would love to see them win this series. All right, thank you for watching. It's Red Sox Now. It's Kalshi, our sponsor. Use code FanArchBaseball. You get $10 when you trade 10. We'll talk to you on Tuesday. Need the Red Sox to rebound. Woo Sox are off on Monday. All of minor league baseball is off on Monday. We'll be back at a Tuesday for another edition of Red Sox Now. As always, go Sox.